Hey everyone, it's me, Matt. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing great, and I hope you're ready to garden with me today because in today's video, it's Dahlia Care Day. So we're going to start off the video by giving some of my Dahlia plants a hard midsummer rejuvenation prune. Then we're going to fertilize all of them, and then we'll wrap up the video by talking through fungal disease prevention. So let's get into it. So jumping right in, we'll be working mainly in my front yard garden, but we're going to do a little work on a Dahlia that I moved into my backyard too. That plant that I moved into my backyard actually looks the best right now. It just started flowering this week, so stick around because its bloom is beautiful. So you might remember back in February, I planted 6 different Dahlia tubers, and while they put on an amazing show earlier this year, they're definitely showing signs of stress from all the heat and humidity. Some of them even look like they might have fungal issues. So I figured it's time to cut some of them back, getting rid of some of the mangy top growth so I can enjoy a second round of foliar growth and blooms from them this season. So aside from encouraging a second flush of foliar growth and blooms, the main reason why you might want to give your Dahlia plants a midsummer rejuvenation prune is to help the plants combat the heat and disease. Here in Florida, our hot, humid weather invites a ton of fungal issues, and a hard prune will help improve airflow and reduce stress, keeping the plants vigorous and disease-free. So looking at this creme de cassis Dahlia first, you might remember this was the one that had those stunning pink blooms on it just a few months ago, and although there aren't any blooms on it now, I did notice that it recently started pushing some new growth from its base. So my hope is that by pruning off the older top growth, I'll get some more blooms from this plant later on this season. Here in Florida, mid to late July is actually the perfect time for a midsummer rejuvenation prune, especially if the plant is already pushing some new growth. Looking over here now on the other side of my Adirondack chairs, I've got a magenta Metro Star Dahlia and a white Snow Country Dahlia, although I think the Snow Country tuber was mislabeled because when it bloomed it looked more like a white Star Child Dahlia. In any case, the top growth on both of these plants looks really bad. I know for sure they both had a little powdery mildew back in June, but you can see there's some new growth just starting to emerge here on the magenta Metro Star Dahlia. And then there's actually a ton of new growth at the base of my white Star Child Dahlia. Looking in between my Adirondack chairs now, I've got 2 more Dahlias that I don't think I'm going to prune today. You can see the one on the left is massive. It's so tall. This one is called Crazy Love, and its flowers are bright white with the faintest hint of lavender blue on the edges of its petals. And then this one on the right is much shorter. This one was supposed to be a Blue Boy Dahlia with a solid blue color, but it was also mislabeled. You can barely see its color from this bloom that's just starting to open. Its flowers are shades of yellow, orange, and red. You can see it's also got a few more buds on it too. Overall, both of these plants look pretty decent still and seem to be disease-free. Moving over here now, you might remember that I had a Dahlia planted behind this hedge of forked blue curl plants. This is the one that I dug up and moved into my backyard because it was getting crowded out by everything else in this bed. So let's head to my backyard really quick and I'll give you an update on that one too. Like I said, it's looking great. So this is the Dahlia that I dug up and moved into my backyard. This one is called Thomas Edison. It just started blooming a few days ago. You can see its flowers, a gorgeous deep purple color. It's so vibrant. It almost looks like there's hints of pink on the lower parts of the petals too. I just love it so much. Stepping back, you can see the foliage on this plant is also looking really good. I think overall it's doing so well because it gets afternoon sun protection from my neighbor's house. During the heat of the day, it gets lots of shade. I've learned that some afternoon sun protection is definitely something to consider here in Florida if you want your Dahlia plants looking better for longer. So moving on to pruning now, this rejuvenation prune should be quick and easy. You can see I've got my hand pruners and some 70% isopropyl alcohol so I can sanitize my pruners between plants. Sanitizing is important to help stop the spread of disease between plants, especially if some of them are already showing signs of fungal issues. So starting off with my creme de cassis Dahlia, I'm just going to cut all the old stems off about 6 inches above the ground, making sure not to damage any of the new stems that are growing from the plant's base. Like I said, it's a simple process, so let's keep going and clean up my Dahlias, and then we can move on to fertilizing them. So I know I said I wasn't going to cut back my Crazy Love Dahlia, but I just noticed it's pushing some new growth from its base too. So I've changed my mind. I'm going to prune off all the older top growth so that the plant can focus its energy on this new growth instead. Pruning it will also help balance out the entire space too. All right, so now that all my dahlias have been cleaned up, we can move on to fertilizing them. I'll be using this plant tone fertilizer. I'm going to sprinkle it around the base of each plant. Then I'll scratch it into the soil surface with my hand rake here. And then lastly, I'll water the fertilizer in thoroughly. So there we go. My dahlias are all ready for the remainder of the 2025 season. Removing all that older spent top growth will allow my plants to focus 100% of their energy on pushing all that new beautiful growth from their bases. Also, the addition of the slow-release fertilizer ensures my dahlia plants have all the nutrients they need to continue to perform throughout the summer season. So when it comes to dahlias and fungal disease prevention, I recommend spraying your dahlias weekly with a fungicide spray, especially if you live in a hot, humid climate. I suggest using the ready-to-use Fertilome copper fungicide spray. It helps control a wide range of fungal issues, including powdery mildew and leaf spot. The active ingredient in the spray creates a protective barrier on the plant's leaves so that fungus spores can't take hold. With all my travel last month, I was late in spraying my dahlias, which is why some of them got so bad. So do as I say, not as I do, because fungal prevention is way easier than trying to cure a fungal infection. If you spray your plants proactively and regularly, that'll keep them looking beautiful and disease-free all season long. Also, you don't want to spray the new growth right away. You want to give the new shoots some time to develop since the tender new growth is more sensitive. Basically, once the new leaves feel more leathery and are more rigid, they're ready to spray. So in about a week or so, once my dahlia plants have recovered from the pruning and their new growth is a little more mature, I'll start spraying them with the copper fungicide spray weekly. And then really quick, I also wanted to add, when using the copper fungicide, you should always spray in the early mornings or evenings when the leaves are dry and the outdoor temperature is below 85 degrees. If you spray during the heat of the day, it can cause leaf burn. It's important to always follow the application instructions on the back of the bottle, and I'll definitely make sure to link this Fertilome spray in the video description for reference. So that's going to do it for this midsummer dahlia care video. I hope you enjoyed it and found all the information useful. If you did, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you can hang out with me in future videos. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.